This is a dangerous group that we're dealing with now.
That's right. Check this out.
Go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sundowner for Friday, the 2nd of June. I have to throw this up, which I don't normally do. I am not late. I was 3 seconds early. Thank you very much. So, we've hit the end of another week. Another week of bullshit and fuckery in the world. And we have a couple of funny ones. We haven't got the serious ones. And just basically another look at the nut house that we all live in. Yes, it is. It is. Well, for us here in Australia, I will say. So, without further chattery, here we go. First up, we have a little clip from Jordan Peterson, which is, well, I can find it. Here we go. It's not overly long, but yeah, it's an interesting one.
His resolute voice pierces through the clamor, warning us with a heavy heart that the rise of artificial intelligence threatens our very existence. With somber conviction, Peterson paints a chilling picture of a future in which humanity finds itself entangled in a web of its own creation, wrestling with the profound implications of AI's unprecedented power.
My position basically is we better get our act together before the giants show up. And they're like knocking at the door right now. So you better build your ark, folks, and get on your adventure, because we're whipping up some things in the lab that will make everything that's come so far look like nothing's happened at all yet. The bigger the toy, the smarter you better be to use it. So that's worth thinking about, because we're coming up with some pretty damn big toys. And what did my friend Jonathan Pajot said again? He said recently, I told you about him, this deep religious thinker. He's something. He said, we're going to see giants walk the earth again. And you think, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, we're already androids, you know. Already. When you're on Twitter, you're an android. Well, why? Well, you know, there are lots of trolls on Twitter. Sometimes I'm one of them, by the way. But I'm not an anonymous troll. So I take my lumps, let's say. Well, I started calling the trolls troll demons. And I had a reason for that. And the reason is, you know, maybe you're some resentful character who's a coward and you're Machiavellian and narcissistic and psychopathic and sadistic, because that's actually the hallmarks of anonymous trolls, and that's been studied very well by people who study the so-called dark tetrad of personality traits. How many of you know what ChatGPT is? Okay. So not very many. So I'll tell you what ChatGPT is, just so you know, because you need to know this. And I don't know what sort of technological revolution this is. Gutenberg press level? It's something like that. This is a big deal. So this AI system, it's a general language processing model, was released about a week and a half ago. And I went and interacted with it. It's an AI system, artificial intelligence system. It basically is trained on, well, a massive corpus of spoken or of text. So it's derived its models of the world from the analysis of human speech, essentially. It isn't using real world data yet, but that will be happening certainly within the next year. We're going to have a lot of things to contend with. And you know, they're very promising. They're very promising. I was talking to my brother-in-law, for example, who's the world's greatest chip designer, as it turns out. And he's built, I don't know if there's anybody who's changed the world more in the last 15 years than Jim, with the possible exception of Musk. And that'd be a tight battle, because he built all the chips in your iPhone and in Intel systems and in AMD systems. And I mean, other people did as well, but he was key to that. One of the things we were talking about last week was the possibility that we could build a ChatGPT system, essentially, that was a trained neuroscientist. And so I thought I could work with him to identify the cardinal works of neuroscience over the last 15 years, the greatest books, the greatest papers, train the ChatGPT system on that, and then use it as a scientist to evaluate the current literature. And that seems like the only thing that's stopping that is time. Like, it's the possibility of doing that's right there. We're going to be able to build, we can already build incredibly intelligent systems. Now, they're not fully calibrated yet, and ChatGPT has its problems and its biases, but Jim figures we'll figure out how to. See, right now, ChatGPT only uses language. So to the degree it's intelligent because of the intelligence that's encoded only in language. And if the linguistic corpus, so the body of text that we've all produced, is biased and warped in some way, that'll be built into the ChatGPT system. And along with whatever biases the programmers might have purposely or inadvertently put into the system. But
okay, I only played a little bit of that for a reason of it is too long for this show, but it's extremely interesting. So yeah, anybody who isn't okay, I don't know your username, I'm sorry. Oh, wait. Yep, I agree, Tanya. I do agree. Yeah, it's well worth the look. That was just a little intro into the video. Tanya has dropped a lot of good stuff into the Telegram group today, and that's what this show is. This is about showing the good information that comes into that place. So here we go. Okay, next up, I've got to find the link. I swear I add links and I can't. Here we go. Okay, so the next one up is, yeah, there's a fraud safeguard, which is an issue. How you going, Yui? Good to see you. And again, this is Australian. There's actually a fair bit of Australian information here today. Okay, play.
One Nation, Pauline Hanson. Pauline, thank you for your time tonight. What is your reaction to the results of this Audit Office report into the NIAA? And does it surprise you that while this Audit Office report came out 2 days ago, usually reports like this from the Audit Office are covered extensively by the media? It's flown under the radio. It's flown under the radar. We haven't heard a word about it.
Well, in some ways that doesn't surprise me, but I've got to say thank you very much to yourself and to Sky for actually putting me on to speak about this. Came out 2 days ago, no report about it whatsoever, nothing in the media. And we're talking about over $1 billion that was given in grants, 1,500 activity statements between 21 and 22 that haven't been, investigated. Even another thing is the Australian National Audit Office report standards. They stated that the NIAA doesn't maintain evidence of the qualifications of the investigative staff in its compliance and fraud branch. So do they have the right qualifications to actually do the job? That's one question. So the branch didn't even track or review performance measures according to the relevant Australian government investigative standards. And as you said, fraud risk assessments were out of date, missing or did not even meet the NIAA risk management performance requirements. And I'll tell you another thing, half of the new grant opportunities since May 2022 did not have fraud risk assessments. So we're talking about departments around about $4.5 billion, but this comes under the Prime Minister and Cabinet also. Now, I've raised issues about the NIAA in the past and on the floor of Parliament. Shari, I have actually raised about misappropriation of monies. I want accountability. I've called for audits of Aboriginal organisations. We're talking about monies that have given in grants to land councils and also to, there's over 3,000 corporations, Aboriginal corporations. I want to know, where has this money gone? Do we have a performance review? Do we know if we're getting value for our buck? And I don't believe that we are. And no one wants to talk about it because you're called a racist. Taxpayers have a should be screamed from the rooftops and they should know where their dollars are going.
This body in total is being funded to the tune of $4 billion, $1 billion in that 1 year period that the Audit Office assessed its actions. But $4 billion for the NIAA, it hasn't got fraud oversight according to the Audit Office. And the Parliament's now has voted to have a referendum on the voice to Parliament. The big question is why Indigenous disadvantage in Australia isn't improving with all the billions of dollars that is being directed to the problem. Do you think oversight of where the money is going, how it's spent, is one of the problems here?
Shari, I've been calling about that for years and years and years. I think there's a lot of nepotism. I think there's a lot of corruption that happens in these organisations. Like the Aboriginal Legal Aid was pulled up years ago, that there was not enough accountability. Any other government department, you actually have to be accountable for the taxpayers' dollars. It just, everyone turns a blind eye to the Aboriginal organisation, and that's my assessment of it. And I'm not saying it is, but I, as a taxpayer, I want to know where this money's going. When you have 80% of Aboriginals live in regional areas in the cities, only 20% in communities, you've got an estimated 812,000 a claim who tick the census box. I don't believe there's that many in Australia anyway. But the fact is that we're spending over $33 billion a year in the Aboriginal industry, and I'll call it the gravy train. But it never seems to make a difference. Why, Shari? Why haven't we investigated it? $33 billion of dollars that goes to 812,000 people claim to be Aboriginal. A lot of them don't even get any funding out of this money whatsoever. So look, there's a big question mark here, and I'll keep asking the questions.
Look, I want to move on to another topic. Brittany Higgins reportedly received a taxpayer-funded payout of up to $3 million as a result of how she claims she was treated when she complained about being raped in Parliament House. Now, there was a story on the Daily Mail last night that one of your own staff members made a similar complaint against a former Labor MP, but yet received not a cent. Why do you think there has been this hypocrisy in how these cases were handled?
Well, yeah, one of my staff members many years ago was actually had the evidence there that was sexually harassed over it. And the fact is nothing happened about it, but the government kept pouring money into the defence of the person, right?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
just kept running up the debt. So the other person had to walk away from it. You know, guess what? Because he was male. This is a female. You have the feminists, you have everyone screaming from the rooftops how she was hard done by. You know, Shari, I have my questions over this whole case. The way it was handled is pathetic. I do not believe it was the government's responsibility to pay her out that money. You know, she has to take responsibility for her own actions and going to Parliament House that time of night. It wasn't the taxpayers' fault. The taxpayers shouldn't have paid it out. The government shouldn't have paid it out. That's my opinion. And the way the whole case has been handled by the DPP in Canberra, by the police, by the politicians, by the media, everyone. It's been a joke right from the bloody start, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, highly politicised from the start. Pauline Hanson, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Wait. Okay, you can hear me before the next one starts. We chat, yes, guys. There is questions. There's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of wastage that goes on. As I made the comment, I disagree with I disagree with saying that it's all warranted, because I've worked amongst it. I've actually benefited from it, and I can tell you here and now the wastage that goes into it, and the lack of accountability. I can give you stories that will make your hair curl, and any money spent needs to be better regulated. Do I agree with regulation? No, I don't. So there's my cross to bear. So yeah, it is extremely. It's such a hard topic. It really is. All right, sorry, I had to pause. You serious? Had to pause because I dropped out there. This is one, if you're having trouble saying it, which I know on phones it's hard. The question is freedom or slavery? If you're going to vote, vote no. Well, I personally don't think we're actually going to have a vote because it's already passed through. It's already in force. There is no discussion like the rest of it, and we just have to bear with what they give us. Oh, yay. But in the event that we maybe do have a chance, on Saturday, so tomorrow, in Canberra, there is a protest organised to stand up and make the no voice from the people heard. Again, I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying go down for it because I really don't think any of this is going to help. There's already publications out there of a different form, but the same thing. So, and if I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've got one later in the show today. Okay. On to other fuckery. Australian excess deaths. Now, where the hell is that? That is over here. Gotta find it. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go.
On why we have 30,000 deaths, excess of 30,000 deaths over baseline. The ABS told me just last night that provisional data is likely a 15% underestimate. Only half of the excess is attributed to COVID by you guys. All I got was a runaround and an admission that, yes, there is evidence of excess deaths. Professor Kelly is telling me it's a concern and you're looking into it. But at the same time, Mr Gould is saying all of the data is incomplete, so we shouldn't be worried. Now, can you please cut the crap and the waffle and tell me exactly what has caused the excess deaths, the startling excess deaths? As I said, this is equivalent to 2 Boeing 787 airliners crashing every week for a year. And yet there doesn't seem to be any interest in what's going on in the Health Department.
Senator Roberts, before the official commences his answer, can I remind senators at the table, indeed everyone in the room, to please use language which is parliamentary. Professor.
What's causing the excess deaths?
So, Senator, Philip Gould, the First Assistant Secretary for the Health Economics and Research Division. We do acknowledge that the ABS statistics show that in 2022 there were more deaths than normal. So that's not something that we're debating. Significantly more than normal, I believe, is the language that the ABS uses. So that's not a question for debate. We do take it very seriously. We've entered into a contract with ANU, for example, recently to examine potential causes for this. At this point, it's very hard to give you a definitive answer, but we have what we believe are a combination of likely causes for that and possible causes, which I'm happy to go through with you now if you wish.
Sure.
Yeah. So one of the causes that we believe are likely is delayed deaths from existing underlying health problems due to reduced circulation of many respiratory and other diseases. So this is consistent with an idea of expecting, following a period of low excess death, that there will be a period of higher excess death. So it's called compensation, basically, over time.
When was the period of low excess deaths?
2020 was an example that the ABS has defined as a period with low.
Wasn't that adjusted?
Sorry?
That data for 2020 was adjusted, wasn't it?
In what way?
I understand to account for COVID. It was taken out of the averages.
That's not my understanding.
Okay. Keep going.
And so anyway, so we have the reduced circulation of respiratory diseases. As I said, an ageing population, which is something that I covered before, which is a really important factor.
Don't we have aged people every year?
We have a population with an increasing median age group each year.
This is sudden?
No, this is not sudden. This is a pattern that we've seen evolving over time.
So what's caused a significant jump, to use your words, in excess, way above the upper limit of normal cases?
So this is a contributing factor to that. As I said before, the statistics that you're referring to don't take into account the age structure of the population, and that's explicitly called out in the report that you're referring to. So it's an important factor. We also believe that long-term impacts of COVID are likely to be a cause for this, where the government is investing significantly in better understanding long COVID. I have teams looking into potential longer-term impacts of COVID. The MRFF is funding more research into this. So this is, again, something that's being taken very seriously. In terms of possible drivers, we believe that the reduction in timeliness of access to emergency and routine healthcare services during the pandemic period may have had some impact there. Pandemic-influenced lifestyle changes are also factors which we are looking into as possible causes.
So basic health that you ignored during the 3 years of the COVID virus, that you suppressed. Fitness, exercise, breathing, sunshine,
There's a
air.
range of lifestyle changes which came through from the pandemic, and as I said, we can't draw a definitive causal link at this point, but these are things that we'll be looking at.
Let me give you some suggestions. Qualified experts, not compromised by attachment to policy, are screaming it's the vaccine, the COVID injections. Peer-reviewed papers are saying it's the injections, and many independent, uncensored doctors are saying the same thing. There's been a significant increase in deaths from causes known to be serious side effects, adverse event effects of the injections. There's a temporal relationship that even Professor Kelly admits, and then we've got the TGA admitting in Senate estimates, in answer to my question last time, it did not access the patient-level data. You don't know, and you don't seem to care. You're looking at things, but you're not. As I said, if we had this level of deaths in the aircraft industry, 2 crashes every week, complete fatalities, this would be a problem. It doesn't seem to be anything urgent.
So I believe Professor Kelly might wish to make some points, but I will quickly say that the department worked with the National Centre for Immunisation Research and Surveillance to produce a paper which is out for preprint at the moment for Lancet. That paper examines the relationship between vaccine coverage for people aged 65 over in terms of COVID mortality, but importantly, all-cause mortality as well. That document is available for public scrutiny, and it found no link between vaccination and...
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. And like I said in the chat, I do like him. He has a lot of good words, and he will not say anything without proof. So, all right, the next one up on this page, I can't see the image that's come across, so I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna have to read this, and that's that. I've seen this out since last night. Brendan Murphy, the former CMO of Australia and the current Secretary of the Department of Health, has tonight at 10:30 p.m. during the Senate estimates in Parliament House Canberra, finally admitted that the mandates are no longer justified. As of 9 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, which is today, any CEO of an organisation that continues with mandates is exposing that organisation and potentially themselves to being sued and not having any defence. I don't see how that's going to work because they haven't really given 2 shits so far along, but hey, again, like I said with the protest tomorrow, everything is worth a shot. That's all I got. Everything is worth a shot because no, they're not listening to us. No, they couldn't care less because the people who pay them are a lot more powerful than what we are. But if we don't have a crack at it, we can't bitch about it. I guess that's how it sits. Okay, next. And now I'm a little bit scared as to what I've got next, to be honest. Oh, look, yes. This is a funny one. This actually made me laugh. President. Oh, good Lord. So, excuse me. So, everybody, did we know? Apparently, Australian garlic can kill COVID-19, says the esteemed, venerated Doherty Institute. And again, I'm not reading this because I'm also not paying for the subscription, but the short version is garlic might not just be good for keeping vampires away, but also C19 and the common flu. Oh my lordy, who would have ever tied those two together? The scientists at the Doherty have been researching garlic properties over the last 18 months and discovered a certain Australian-grown variety demonstrates antiviral properties. So, anybody out there who may have a paid subscription to these guys, feel free to drop it into the chat. I don't, and I won't. But who knew? Oh my lordy, who knew that, Mother Nature, this ground that we walk on, might just provide cures for the diseases that they give us. Anyways, Gaspard, back in her box. That was that one. What have we got here? Toxoplasmosis is a parasite that affects behavior, rage disorder, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, all symptoms of toxoplasmosis. If you do the research, you'll also find that they can impact sexual preference. Oh my fucking goody lordy. Hoi. Further research can be shown that parasites can be passed from mother to offspring, either in utero or while nursing. The point of the story is that parasitic activity may be the cause of the rise in mental health problems around the world. And go ahead and try and disprove me all you want. I literally lived through this with my wife for 6 years before I cured her of parasites. Doctors didn't help her. Her psychiatrist didn't help. They only got her hooked on meds and turned her into a zombie. I cured her after researching for answers. Now, that came from a Telegram posted by the name of SSG/G. I guess. Oh, I don't even know where to start with that. I really don't. There is so much wrong with this world. The introduced chemical compounds is a part of that. And anything after that is a crapshoot. There are natural issues that nature has given us the ability to repair. And then there's the introduced stuff. Either way, none of it is useful. So, next. This is a funny one. Top line, slob. People at Walmart. White fucker looks like he supports MAGA terrorists. Ew. If it wasn't for white supremacy, the hideous male would be in the gutter. Slob/trans. Oh my God, how brave. You're beautiful, you glow, you're complimentary. 150k a year DIY job, man. Giving it to him on a platter. Let's go shopping for cute things together. We need to take lots of pics for Instagram. And does she have an OnlyFans? And that's what we've been led into. And the whole thing is just disgusting in my eyes. I just have to get the hell out of that one. Again, it's all over on the Telegram page, guys. Back to local news. We have a popular campsite is closed to protect Aboriginal culture heritage. Now, this is in Queensland. Present. I have actually been to this place. And again, this is one that I won't read the whole article, but I'll just do a starter of it. Okay. Locals in a small Queensland town have slammed a council's call to close a popular camping site amid concerns for the area's Aboriginal heritage. Locals in a small Queensland outback town have slammed council's decision to close a popular camping site that draws hordes of tourists every year due to concerns the area's Aboriginal heritage is being trampled on. The popular Camberwell Billabong camping site on the banks of the Georgina River, located about 2 hours west of Mount Isa, close to the border, is a popular destination during the dry season from May to September. But last week, Mount Isa City Council announced that public access to the area, including the banks of the river and Lakes Francis and Canallan, will be closed for 6 months, including the rest of the 2023 tourist season. The site has been managed by the Myuma Group through a sublease with the council since 2021. Myuma represents the traditional owners of the Upper Georgina River region. Mount Isa Deputy Mayor Phil Barwick told ABC Radio on Monday both council and Myuma wanted to protect the area's environmental and cultural heritage. We've been trying to work through that, and while it's going well, at the same time the area is being quite trampled on, if you like. So we need to recognise that as well, he said. So there's the photo. I'm not going to read the rest. Again, it's not infuriating, but it is one of those things. It really is. And give her. What am I missing? Oh, thanks, Tanya. Cheers. Glad to know that I'm so soothing, I guess is the word, maybe. I'm going to take that off the screen. Check the full moon. It's still 2 days from the full moon, but check that. It is awesome. Anyways. Next. All right. Electricity price rise from the 1st of July between 21 to 25% in Western Australia. Synergy says they know WA residents are doing it tough and we are here to help. Really. A price increase caused by state and federal policies. This is going to hurt so many families, especially with continual interest rate hikes. Something has to give. No wonder McGowan got out quick. Anyways, I think, Mandy, you're right. I think pretty much every state, everyone's getting increases. It's beyond a joke. It really is. I'm back. So that is the end of what I've got prepared. I guess there was a few more over there. Tanya, you had a lot that you put in today, and they were all way too long to put into the show. So, guys, seriously, go and check out the Telegram channel. There is a ton, an absolute ton of good stuff over there. It's just impossible to show everything. It really is. I had half a dozen that I could have done a quick flick through, but not big enough to do it in depth and not short enough to do a quick one. So yeah, it makes it difficult. Thank you very much for being with us all week. We're doing our best. Anyone who's got any ideas, anyone who's got suggestions, information, stuff that you think people need to see, send it through, guys. Whether it's to myself, to Amanda, to the Telegram channel, send it through. Always happy to run through the basics. And if it's a longer one, it can stay out there. The channel's got a lot of good stuff in there. And on that note, I will hit the end button. We have a, when I find it, we have a brand new outro, courtesy of our favourite designer, Mad. So please enjoy, guys. Oh, hang on. Get that off. Get that off. Here we go. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm going to do a one-off on Sassy. And if not, I will see you all on Monday back here on Last Bullshit Chatters.